Alright, I'm pretty excited about this deck. I managed to get 3 Elysian banners. That there may be a danger that makes the deck a little bit slow, but we're hoping that we can get a creature down and keep one down soon enough that the banners are live. And I do have an Initiate of the Sands, I think, to compensate for that a little bit. I am playing the Elysian Stranger. This is the first card that I would cut, but I think this Soaring Stranger makes it a little better, and I just hate mana problems. I don't know. That's the first card I would cut. Ephemeral Wisp was sweet to get. We have 4 removal spells, 2 Lightning Strikes, and 2 Static Bolts, which is very, very nice. Some all-around good blue-white cards: Stormlinks, Temple Scribe, Tundra Explorer. For Tundra Explorer, we've got Twinning Ritual, 2 Lightning Strikes, 2 Static Bolts, and a Mirror Image. Got a False Prince, which is great, and then a whole bunch of flying cards. So 2 T-Rex Hatchlings, 2 Nesting Aviasaurs, a Serpent Trainer, Soaring Stranger. I'm playing the 2 Xenon Guardians and the Xenon Obelisk. Then to interact well with things like T-Rex Hatchling, we have and also Static Bolt. We have so let's be precise. Nesting Aviasaur interacts well with T-Rex Hatchling and Static Bolt. Twinning Ritual interacts well with T-Rex Hatchling. Elysian Pathfinder interacts well with T-Rex Hatchling. And then just more solid all-around good cards. Valkyrie Trainer. I would cut the second card that I would cut is probably Towering Terrazon. We have a Windshaper because I think my deck has enough flying cards to justify that, even though it's a very low value card. And then Divining Rod is pretty sweet in a deck where like half of your creatures all have flying. So all in all, I'm feeling pretty optimistic about this deck. Let's see how it runs. This is a fine hand. It's not exciting, but it's not bad enough to throw back either. We can play the banner first turn because we don't have anything to play with that turn 1 mana. Okay. So I guess my game plan is just hope they don't overwhelm me before I can get down my 4th turn creatures. That is not a good start for me. So I can either spend my Mirror Image on copying my Elysian Stranger to double block the Xenon Destroyer, or I can spend my Stormlinks on double blocking the Xenon Destroyer. I'm going to do the Stormlinks because Mirror Image is going to be best on Serpent Trainer. So in we go, and we just hope that they don't have some awesome combat trick, like the thing that gives +4 attack and quick draw. That would be an absolute blowout here, but they didn't have it, which is good. We didn't really have the option of playing around. That was just the thing to do. Not let the Xenon Destroyer run roughshod over me. We're drawing enough lands, which is always nice. Now the question is, do I play Serpent Trainer or do I play Xenon Guardian to soak up removal? I don't think there's a lot of removal that they're going to spend on Xenon Guardian, so I'm going to play the Serpent Trainer and just look like a total doofus if they have Suffocate or something, but it's the price you pay. Aha! My opponent also has a Serpent Trainer. Little do they know, I have 2 Serpent Trainers. So we do this first. Then we're going to attack with everything. They're pretty much obligated to block. I blocked with the Wisp, which is interesting. I'm optimistically supposing that that suggests that they're trying to draw into an answer for my Serpent Trainer. Very optimistically. It really doesn't mean that much. Kind of means I probably don't have a combat trick. Oh, there's their answer. Okay. So my response is pretty clear. Let the Reckless card attack. I probably want to keep Initiate of the Sands back so that I can pop the Guardian next turn. I don't think they're going to block it. Yeah, they would have no reason to believe that Initiate of the Sands is good when I have 7 mana. So I attack with these two. Next turn, they have to attack with Sky Snapper, leaving the path open for my Serpent Trainer, which basically just produces a blocker for Sky Snapper. Depending, of course, on what they play, but that's a provisional plan. So, of course, no blocks. Aha, another Sky Snapper. Okay, so this becomes an 8/8. And I'll go in with these 3. I still don't want to trade my 2/2 for a 3/1. My opponent's kind of playing, well, a very similar deck to me. What have you got? What is there for 2 mana? It's not too terribly relevant. All right. So that happens. There's your Suffocate. Well, that's quite painful. That is extremely painful for me. There's a lot I can draw here. That's not the right thing for me to draw. I probably have, 5 outs in my deck. 2 Static Bolts, 2 Lightning Strikes, T-Rex Hatchling. Okay, well, not much I can do about that. I mean, my deck had no shortage of flying blockers. They just managed to really pile in there with a spectacular number of creature enchantments, including a lifelink creature enchantment that gives a ridiculous amount of power. Okay, I'll keep this. Slow, but high power. My opponent did mulligan. Okay. We get to Temple Scribe. Alright. Time to stop drawing sigils. That is all of the sigils we will ever need for this entire game. They're all right there. That is more than the number of sigils that we'll need. No blocks. I guess we're going to put down Aviasaur, not block with it, and block with the Terrazon the turn after. It's very weak. Taking a lot of damage, but I don't want to trade the Aviasaur. Okay, that's way too many sigils. Guess I attack with this. Put this on top in case I draw something that costs 2. Maybe I do block, actually. I think I do block to soak up a combat trick. They have access to so many combat tricks. They might have a torch or something here. Torch, Suffocate. I know they have something with Echo in their hand. So I'll make the block. And Okay. Oh, I don't know what I was talking about. I said I would put this on top in case I drew something that costs 2, but that's not how card games work. So I take that back. Well, not much I can say about this situation. This is depressing. I have to say, card games are more fun when there are decisions involved. When the number of decisions that you have to make in a game is precisely 0, the game becomes a little bit less entertaining. Okay. $17 lands, I guess? I don't know. I still, like, you're changing, fiddling around with the fringes of the distribution. The chances, whether I have 18 lands or 17 lands, the chance that I draw 10 lands and, what was that, 3 cards, 4 cards, in 14 cards or 13 cards, is similarly tiny. So it's, when that happens, it's never the fault of the number of lands that you're playing. I have to send this back. This is terrible. It's never the fault of the number of lands that you're playing, unless you're playing a ridiculous number of lands. It's just variance. The depressing thing is that you can sit down and calculate that, you know, 1 in every 10 to 15 drafts, you should expect to just get mana screwed 2 or 3 times in a row. This is identical to the last game that I played so far. I mean, my hand is different, but my opponent mulliganed, drew back, and got Echo card. Okay. Another Echo card. I'm glad that I got another land. So I'll play my Stranger and we can trade. That seems fine. Maybe I Twinning Ritual. That'd be pretty sweet. Twinning Ritual, the Ephemeral Wisp. The kind of obvious thing would be Twinning Ritual, the Serpent Trainer, which is probably what I should do. But a Twinning Ritual, the Ephemeral Wisp is pretty sweet too. A 1/2 that just keeps coming back. My opponent is carefully considering whether or not to offer the trade. Sure. Okay, so I will Twinning Ritual the Serpent Trainer because I want to play Serpent Trainer next turn. In fact, I want to play the 3/3 Serpent Trainer next turn. Probably, I assume, depending on what they play, but fairly confident about that. Well, there you have it. I want to play You know, I could still play the 3/3 Serpent Trainer and then also play the 2/2 Serpent Trainer. False Prince is probably just much more effective. It is likely to soak up some removal, which is fine. I got my flu shot today, and my arm really hurts. But the flu is much worse. And giving the flu to people whose immune systems make it so the flu is a very serious problem for them, that is the worst of all. So get your flu shot. It's worth it. But yeah, my arm does hurt a lot. Which is better than my opponent's malady, which is that their arm is very slow at playing cards on the internet. They're playing a lot of Wisdom of the Elders, many of them. They still have 2 cards with Echo in their hand. Do not know what they are. Aha! Oh. Wouldn't that have turned False Prince into a 1/1 frog for 1 and then turned it into a card that costs 2? Pretty sure that's what would have happened. So, okay. I'm glad that didn't happen, I guess. I will certainly offer the trade with this deadly thingy and try to get 2 damage over the top. Considering that they have another unstable form that I would like to make a little more awkward for them to play. I don't want them to get something that costs 6. That sounds kind of nasty for me. They're going to, but it's the way that it goes. Mirror Image on Serpent Trainer is probably sweet. Although if I don't draw land, I'm more likely to either play Temple Scribe and Ephemeral Wisp or Serpent Trainer, depending on what my opponent plays. I would like to draw a few sigils this game in contrast to last game. Okay, well, that's nice for me. That is not nice for me. So we're going to really try to draw some sigils so that we can put Divining Rod on the Serpent Trainer. And their double block is awkward. I will not be blocking that. Although, it makes sense. That attack makes sense. There's a sigil. So, Temple Scribe and copy the Serpent Trainer, I guess. That seems good. Let's play Temple Scribe first. Okay, nice. So that's going to let me play Divining Rod next turn. Go in with the False Prince. So, for 5 free damage. And then Mirror Image on Serpent Trainer, which makes it really tough for them to attack with Northwind Herald, or the main thing that that does is make it so that 1 removal spell doesn't ruin my Divining Rod target. Because I really want to Divining Rod on Serpent Trainer. There's nothing that's nearly as good for me. There's our other Echo card. Draw a card, then discard a card. They're playing a very, very ponderous deck. 2 Wisdom of the Elders, Unstable Form, Herald Song. Forget what this started out as, but the 3/4 for 5 flying, which is good. It's a good card. And they discarded their other Herald Song. Hey, that's fun. I never really thought about that. It can always discard itself. This is a 2/3. Okay, so if I go in with a 6/6, they can double block and kill. Yeah, okay. That's very good. So they can double block and kill the 6/6, but then I still have a 3/3 coming at them, and hopefully this nets me, you know, at least 1 other flying card. So that's what we're going to do. Come on, flying. Well, that didn't happen. The chances, admittedly, are probably not actually all that good. Maybe like 1 in 2 for hitting a flying card. Maybe more like 1 in 3 or 1 in 4. Took out 2 sigils, which I'm pretty happy about, but I would have liked that Xenon Obelisk. Okay, so now I'd say we're in a fairly good position. I do like having T-Rex hatchlings, even though they have the aerial ace. We'll see what other flying cards they have. It is strange that I've played like only against flying decks. Okay. Yeah, I probably actually do want to save this for when Ephemeral Wisp dies. So let's go in with these two. This Servant Trainer is much worse than this Servant Trainer because it doesn't get through Aerial Ace. Okay. That's too bad. At least it holds Aerial Ace back. But yeah, Aerial Ace is very good against my hand, of course. I'm just grateful that they let me keep the False Prince. I'm fairly sure that if you unstable form the False Prince, it should turn into a frog, which has one... costs 1 mana. Oh, it costs 0 mana. And then that frog will transform into a unit that costs 1 more, right? Or does it transform the False Prince into a unit that costs 4, and then the False Prince doesn't have the ability? That it gets nerfed by a spell that's played on it. I think it's the former, but I'd like to test that out. But yeah, this False Prince has done a heck of a lot of work for us. Okay. Pretty bad for me. Not devastating, but pretty bad. Sure. That happens. I'm not sure that... Okay, yeah, sure. So that can probably go off next turn. So I play this, get my Ephemeral Wisp back. They have to block the 5/5 at least. They can double block it if they want. Really hoping that they block it with Aerial Ace, but that's probably not going to happen. Lightning Strike or... Oh, okay. Can double block my 3/3 with a 2/2 and a 2/3. Oh yeah, or 2/3 and 3/3 on the False Prince. Yeah, that's fine. Really happy to be allowed to kill this Xenon Guardian because I'm terrified that it's about to... Wait, what's happening? This is getting attacked by these two. The 3/3 is getting attacked by the... It's getting blocked by the 2/3 and the 2/2. Good. So we're going to absolutely take out that 2/3. And then the 5/5 gets to take out the Xenon Guardian, which is wonderful because it was about to become an 8/8 the next time they drew a sigil, which is completely terrifying. And here are 2 cards my opponent probably did not want to see. Yeah, so that Xenon Guardian would have been an 8/8 endurance this turn. We are, of course, blocking the Snowslinger, which, if it gets through, can kill one of my hatchlings. Do not mind having a Sigil in hand to do the exact same thing next turn, and another Chump Blocker. So in we go for 4. Play our Ephemeral Wisp. And I'll play Initiate of the Sands, because why not? Okay. One and two. I will freely admit this is not where I thought this deck was going to end up. 3 games in. But you never know. It's hard to predict. First game, that Lethrai thingy came out of the sky and murdered us. Second game, I feel pretty justified in saying I didn't exactly draw all of the mana that I needed to. Third game was closer than I would have liked, but we did manage to win, which is good. Game 4, it looks like we're starting off with a pretty sweet hand. We do want to draw a Sigil in the next little while, but nothing urgent, for sure. Especially since, Initiate of the Sands certainly helps there. So I'll play False Prince and not attack. We got the sigil that we were looking for, which is good. We need to keep drawing gas because our opponent has lots of critters. So let's do it. Let's go in with everything. Rats. I do have a bunch of my spells already. Okay. That's alright. I wish I had some sort of cool combat trick here, but that's fine. I'm happy to get to keep my Tundra Explorer. And Servant Trainer makes a nice follow-up. Ooh. Oh, my arm really hurts. It's a good vaccine though. I'm glad I got it. This is very nice. Because of course Static Bolt is a sweet answer to that. We're gonna do that before attacking so that Tundra Explorer doesn't get killed in the attack. Still no spell. And in comes Initiate of the Sands, and we got our 2/2 from Servant Trainer. Xenon Obelisk is gonna be a sweet follow-up. Okay. Yeah, I'll play the Obelisk here to enable a big attack. All three of these. Tundra Explorer is coming up blank every time. You do want to block, yeah. Yep. I wanted to attack and you wanted to block. Okay. I don't hate that because it comes with so little armor that it's basically like me getting another attack. That attack just costs me a unit. We're of course now quite eager to hit 8 mana. Also, I don't think there's any problem with overextending because there's so little mass removal in this game. It would never be a concern to overextend with Temple Scribe because it replaces itself as soon as you play it. Anyways, that game was more... That was more how I was envisioning this deck would work, to be honest, than every other game so far. But I suppose that was pretty much a perfect run. Yeah, I'll keep this because it looks very borderline, but T-Rex Hatchling is 2 different creatures. So, I mean, Echo is just such an amazing ability. Flying Echo, 2/1 Flying Echo for 3. That's a very good card. Oh look, there's another one. Alright, birds.deck. Dinosaurs.deck. Pretty excited. Oh, that is a perfect draw. It's exactly the best draw for me right then. My opponent was considering playing something at the end of my turn. They probably would have played Torch. Can't think of what else really warrants a lot of consideration there. For sure, I offer this trade because I get to use my ability in so doing, even though it didn't do anything. Okay. My opponent does have the weapon. That immediately replaces itself. Sure. 1 card and a bit for half of a card. Sounds fair. So I'll attack. Tundra Explorer, come on, get your act together. I'll play the Ephemeral Wisp and leave open Lightning Strike and hope that they don't play something that gives us 2 toughness. 2 more toughness. Okay, they didn't. So we're very happy to get the opportunity to Lightning Strike here. And that they didn't have Empower for this card. This is live. And we get to use it to play a Towering Terrazon, which can break through. So they know that I have a T-Rex Hatchling. Okay. Huh. I would have silenced this, I think. Yeah, I would have silenced Ephemeral for sure. I do want to attack here, because then I'm going to play... I don't know when I get... I guess I get to attack when I have a Soaring Stranger down. I can offer a trade. But I really want to play the T-Rex Hatchlings this turn, hope to draw a Sigil and play this Stranger and a T-Rex Hatchling next turn, or hope to draw something for 2 or less. Or just something sweet generally. Let's play the Hatchlings and not attack. Because then... Oh. I probably should have attacked, and if they wanted to double block, that's just fine. It's very chancy. If I attack, they're going to block with the Centaur and the 3/4. They probably don't have kill all units. I don't think this is a deck that plays kill all units. I'm going to bank on that. I'm going to ridiculously overextend and bank on that. Maybe I don't play T-Rex Hatchling. No, I'm going to play the Hatchling. Next turn we attack with the Soaring Stranger. They have very thoroughly telegraphed that they don't have a combat trick, although of course they could have drawn one. Everyone gets Warcry, okay. They encourage my opponent to attack. They didn't. Okay, let's get our card first. Maybe it's a Xenon Obelisk. It isn't. That's nice. I like having another 3 attack flying card. Wow, T-Rex Hatchling is a good card. Okay, that's fine. I still have one of these. It's kind of ridiculous when this many creatures basically just boils down to Valkyrie Enforcer and Nesting Aviasaur. And even Valkyrie Enforcer isn't doing anything. I play the Guardian, by the way, because if I draw a Sigil, it goes off. Or one of those, it can go off next turn. Okay. My opponent has a combat trick at long last. But I do now have another way of breaking through, and they still can't attack because I will still double block with T-Rex Hatchlings. Yeah, Overwhelm doesn't let them attack because a double block from T-Rex Hatchlings still kills us even after Overwhelm. Although it would get 4 damage through. But that doesn't make a big difference. Was that a bluff? Alright, I'll use its ability. And I'll attack for 8 with Endurance. In an attempt to pick off some of my opponent's cards. My opponent starts having very good attacks on the ground soon. I'm glad I have another Xenon Guardian, though. Like, even if they attack with everything, they get off 5 War Cries. Okay, what am I afraid of? The 2/5, the 2/2, and the 1/1. That's a pretty sweet deal. That is a bargain. Yeah. That's nice. I like it. Particularly sweet because I have another Xenon Guardian. It just takes 2 turns to get down there and get off, and relies on Initiate of the Sands continuing to be alive. Oh, no longer. So let's play the Xenon Guardian, hold the Sigil back in case Ephemeral Wisp dies this turn. Okay. So Xenon Guardian dies. Which is too bad. Does their hero count as a unit? Probably not. These are units, right? Creatures are units. Minions are units. Sure, that makes sense. I imagine that's what I would have done. Okay, so I can attack with the... Can't really attack with anything. I can attack with the 6/5. Then when they attack me, T-Rex hatchlings double block the 3/3. The 3/3 that I'm about to play, and the 2/2 double block the 5/5. These two double block this thing, and I take 3. No, and I block the 3/4 with Ephemeral Wisp. I think that's probably the game plan. That would be assuming that they let everything survive, yeah. And take 6, which would be very bad for them. I just really wanted to get... I want to keep the pressure on, and I want the top unit of my deck to gain Echo, because that seems sweet. Yep, I'll double block and tempt the combat trick or whatever. Yeah, I didn't think there was one. Don't love that. I now want to draw the top unit of my deck. So this is the only thing left with Warcry. I probably want... Yeah, I want to save that, don't I? Yeah, I want to save that for when I have a flying card. I probably have enough mana to play nearly anything in my deck and Mirror Image on the same turn. I just want to draw a unit. If I had I know that I've played all of my T-Rex hatchlings, but if I had a T-Rex hatchling on top, it's be +3/+3. Would I want to lose everything in that situation? 4, I wouldn't quite. Let's do it. Overwhelm. Could very well be Overwhelm. Yeah, let's... Nah. Let's just do this. No, it has Warcry. It has Warcry. Let's play around Overwhelm. That's what I know they're playing. They probably don't have Finest Hour. Okay. Well, that's sweet. That's obviously sweet. Because, I mean, that's like extra incredibly sweet. Because here's what I can do. Play Nesting Aviasaur. Put Nesting Aviasaur back on top. It has Echo. I'm going to get 2 of them next turn. Mirror Image my Nesting Aviasaur. Oh, I could have done that when I had Nesting Aviasaur in my hand. Oh, man. What a waste. No, I probably didn't want to, though. I probably just really want 2 Nesting Aviasaurs this turn. Oh, I did not mean to play that. That was actually legitimately an accident. A thing that my brain did without my permission. Okay, that gets +4/+4. And I was, yeah, so I take 7. That happens. That's the way that it goes. Now I draw a Nesting Aviasaur, which does this sweet thing, where I where I put a Nesting Aviasaur on top of my deck. All right. This should be a constructed deck. I want to build this. I'll admit, I was worried about Finest Hour there, but not terribly worried, because now I have infinite free Nesting Aviasaurs. Oh, this is awesome. I don't think my opponent is pleased. All right. In we go with 2 Nesting Aviasaurs. Play a nesting Aviasaur, put Aviasaur on top, end the turn. Wow. I love this combo. All right. See, I knew I built a sweet deck. I don't know if it was an incredibly good deck, but that was sweet. It's hard to argue that infinite free nesting Aviasaurs is not sweet. That's kind of how sweet is defined. My cat is lying upside down, whining and staring at me. It is not at all clear why. The game is punishing me for my Aviasaur shenanigans by making my queue time extra long. It's the price you pay for being a rebel and spawning infinite birds. We are not going to keep this hand. Neither is our opponent. This is probably sweet. We do need to draw a land eventually, which we just did. So I officially declare it sweet. It's a sweet hand. This game we only... Oh, I made a misplay. Yep. I should have remembered I had something in my deck that cost 2, which we would rather play turn 2 than Ephemeral Wisp. My bad. My misplay, and I got punished for it by drawing Temple Scribe. Whoops. Here we get a turn 3 False Prince, which we're happy about. Turn 4 Nesting Aviasaur is going to put T-Rex Hatchling on top. We only get 1 Aviasaur this game, but we do get a whole ton of hatchlings. -6 attack this turn, so it turns into a frog. This thing, attack. Play the Aviasaur. They still have 2 mana open, I notice. Get some super cheap hatchlings. Next turn we can play 2 hatchlings, which is good. After that, it would be sweet to draw some lands for Divining Rod, but, you know, we have a Temple Scribe, which is going to gain us an extra card. Praxis Displacer. Okay, yeah, so the Praxis Displacer doesn't do much. So, oh, right, I miscounted. Yeah, we can do all of our T-Rex hatchlings this turn. And I will play my land, even though Ephemeral Wisp is going to die next turn because I do want all of my hatchlings. I assume. If they attack with Praxis Displacer, then I will block with the Ephemeral Wisp. So let's just play everyone. I'm not playing around to kill all creatures because it's a rare and they have a creature. Although if any deck were going to play it, it would be the Praxis Displacer deck. So we'll make that block. Even though we don't have the land to properly back it up. Right. Why didn't that... Right, I see, I understand. Okay. Temple Scribe comes down first. We're going to want to keep open. That's sweet. We're going to want to keep open for Lightning Strike. We're probably going to... I don't like Warcry as a problem. I think we'll trade a T-Rex Hatchling and a Lightning Strike for this thing, or at least for Combat Trick. So we'll do this. Very transparent, extremely transparent attack. Like, it's very clear what I'm trying to do. But it would just be such a nice thing to do. Okay. Getting some sigils before their attack. So we'll block. Actually, sorry. First, I think I have to Lightning Strike. And then I'll block. Actually, I'll block with... Yeah, it's not at all clear why I kept back that T-Rex Hatchling. That was clearly a play mistake. Sorry, very sloppy play today. I think I built a pretty sweet deck, but I'm clearly piloting it not all that well. I actually think I built a completely sweet deck. I also think I'm piloting it rather badly. So, but, you know, I never made any claim. If you go back to my first video, I never made any claim that I was someone who you should, like, listen to and take advice from about this game. Instead, I think I just want to put up material about this game that is fun, that people can watch. I don't really care about... I was going to say I'm open to feedback, but the fact is I don't really care about feedback. But if you see play mistakes in my games, then that's fine, whatever. Like, absolutely it happens. I try to transparently point them out. But I'm not putting myself forward as someone who's going to play optimally, play better than you, tell you what to do. No, I'm just someone who's making content that it's hopefully enjoyable to watch. And I also don't even think, like, there may be a handful of people who have watched some of my drafts beginning to end, but I don't think that's even really the most common or even necessarily the best way to take this medium in. I think instead it makes a lot of sense to just like flip through the draft, see what I pick. Maybe if you like notice a weird pick while you're flipping through it, stop at that moment and see what I was thinking. I'm not going to make this block because 1 damage is very, very little and I don't care. Yeah, if you see a weird play, stop. You know, if you see something cool, like suddenly I have infinite nesting Aviasaurs, then you might want to stop and look at that. So yeah, this is all to say, I'm not under the illusion that I play this game super, super, super well. I've just played a lot of card games, and I really like drafting, and I think I am pretty good at it. And I think it's fun to watch even so. So I'll play Serpent Trainer, pass the turn, still keep this open to block the 2/1. And even where I'm not good at it, I think everything that I do has a reason. And if you disagree with me, it's in the context of an honest disagreement because I'm talking through my reasoning and explaining why I do everything. So for sure, here's what we're going to do. Is there anything for 1 mana that does 1 damage in red and black? There's certainly stuff that does more than 1 damage, like Torch. But how does blocking the 1/1 with the 2/2 punish me here? I don't think it does. Oh no, there is that. Yeah, there is a spell that does 1 damage in black. Okay, I mean in red, sorry. I'm not going to risk that. I'm going to play around that card. It's deal 1 damage as a fast spell, and then you like draw or give something +1/+1 on the top of your deck, I think. So I'm going to play a land here. I can play Xenon Obelisk and attack with this, get a 2/2, and block that. What instead I'm going to do, sorry, it would be a 3/3, block that, but it would still trade. What instead I'm going to do, I'm going to attack, get my 2/2 blocker, then play Reliquary Raider. The 2/2 is going to block this thing, but if they remove my 2/2, then the 4/4 can block this thing, and I will make that trade. And yeah, so they could have Overwhelm here, which would be very bad for me, but they didn't. And there goes Beastclaw's Amulet. Oh, that's really good for me. That's really, really good for me. Why did they even make that attack, actually? Oh, that's why, because they really wanted to play that card. Huh, interesting. So I play a Sigil, and I'm going to want to play... So I really want to have Lightning Strike, and I want this 2/2 to be able to block the Tyrant. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Windshaper on top. Maybe I'll put the Obelisk on top. Yeah. I'm probably more likely to play Obelisk next turn. So I can't make any attacks, put the Obelisk on top, keep Lightning Strike in my hand. Then we're going to try to trade the 2/2 for the 6/6. The 2/2 and Lightning Strike for the 6/6. So Lightning Strike. They have a response, which is bad news. Could be +4 attacking Quick Strike. That's the most likely thing I can think of. It's probably not Overwhelm. Probably not confident enough in it being Overwhelm to block with a 3/3. I suppose I could have played around Overwhelm. So Torch. Okay, so it doesn't do any damage. Two units and 2 weapons. Okay. So that's why they didn't care about losing Beast Caller's Amulet. So I guess I play Wind Shaper, and I'm going to do a double block on the 6/6. Oh, they could exhaust one of my units. That's annoying. Uh-huh. So I guess I attack with the 4/4 and hope I draw land, because it's likely not going to be blocking. If they turn this into a 3/3, I don't want to double block. With the Reliquary Raider and the Aviasaur. Let's let them have 6 health. Just hope we draw land. Come on, Sigil. Well, there it is. So I got lucky. Play a Wind Shaper and a Xenon Obelisk. Now we have a pretty good army of blockers. Not perfect, but pretty good. They can exhaust the 5/5, and we are going to take 6. Or the 3/6, yeah. They can exhaust whatever, and we're going to take 6. Sure. What we want is for them not to get in with Beast Caller's Amulet. Wouldn't mind a Sigil here to give everything +2/+2 instead. Don't really care about that. So when this turns into a 6/6, yeah, I still can't attack. I'm going to want to trade, which is a shame. They have Acolyte and Beast Caller's Amulet in their hand. So what they're going to do, maybe give this -1/-1. Yeah, because the last thing that I want to do is be in a position where I have to trade the Aviasaur for the 6/6, or take another 6, which would be really bad, because I really want the 6/6 to be able to block the Vulture. Huh, I thought it would be on this. Oh, they can put Beast Caller's Amulet on that. That makes sense. And force me to block there. They're still not winning. They might have a combat trick. That would be really bad. Like, Overwhelm would be horrendous for me here. But they don't have it, which is really good. So now I feel like I'm winning. Put this down. It's a 5/5. Top thing gets Echo. Might as well attack. I guess I should have done that in a different order. More misplays. I'm sorry. Okay, fine. I'm glad I pulled that out of their hand. I really want... Oh, okay, that's not what I really wanted. I really wanted something with flying. I think I do not attack here. I think I want to draw a flying card before I risk breaking the Slumbering Stone. A flying card or removal, like rats. Rats. Because the Slumbering Stone immediately puts me on a 7-turn clock. Oh, that's good. Okay. In we go. So when they block with Slumbering Stone, I can Lightning Strike their 2/2. That's the removal that I was looking for. Sure. All if that happens. Yep. They still can't attack with the 3/2. Which is good because we do not want them to Warcry. Break that thing. Yeah, I mean, if they have another Smuggler's Stash, then we're in some serious trouble. So I'll go in with both. Because I'm about to play a blocker, and if it gets removed, so be it. Oh yeah, and I was inviting the block if they felt like giving me free cards or using a combat trick or whatever. Okay, then. Oh, that was nice of them. So now I don't have to worry about a combat trick or anything. We will be attacking with these two. Holding back with this for the block. I'll play one T-Rex hatchling. Yeah, I don't really know what mass removal there is. Oh, huh. Maybe I should have played two T-Rex hatchlings, because this might turn into a race now. Yeah, I wasn't playing around anything specific, so I probably should have just played both T-Rex hatchlings. Yeah, for sure. 4, 8, 3. Okay, well, did they get back a flying card? Infernal Tyrant, Scavenging Vulture, and Beastclaw's Amulet. So they're going to play a Scavenging Vulture now. If they... Okay, I mean that's... So I just... Don't I just win here? They can block for 4. Right? Don't I just win? Seems true, doesn't it? Yep. Why didn't they get back the 2/2 flying? They could have played that and blocked. I guess it only would have helped them for 1 turn. Okay, well. 5 consecutive wins is pretty good, but I would have liked to not be in a position where a loss at any of those times meant that I was just out. But it does kind of confirm to me that I wasn't a total doofus to believe that the deck was sweet. Because when I went 0-2, I was kind of thinking, like, am I that wrong about what makes a good draft deck? Like, a bunch of removal, a bunch of cheap creatures with flying, a bunch of sweet interactions between echo cards and cards that let you redraw them. Like, if that's not good, I really need to go back to the drawing board. But it turns out it's good. The Nesting Aviasaur combo is probably my favorite combo that I've pulled in Eternal Draft so far. Yeah, it's gotta be. My favorite constructed deck, which I've been working on recently. I think I do keep this because I can play 2 cards. I mean, T-Rex, like, hands like this always look so bad, and then I think about it and I'm like, well, I actually do have 2 playable creatures within the first 3 turns. I mean, within the first 4 turns. I can play a creature starting on turn 3 and still have access to another creature, and 1 land draw unlocks the next slot on my curve. And there it is. And I have access to both of my colors. I don't need any colors that I don't have. So what looks like a very borderline hand, because T-Rex Hatchling is secretly 2 cards, becomes pretty sweet. Blue-black, eh? Oh, this is not the deck that I want to face. In particular, snowballs. Hatchlings hate snowballs, because when I play a hatchling on turn 3, it insta-dies to the snowball. I got nothing. I still probably play a hatchling on turn 3, if only to mess up their 4th turn. Oh dear. Yep, I mean, exceptionally awkward, but not much I can do. So, if I'd known what deck I was facing, certainly I should have mulliganed. Certainly, if I had known. This turn, okay, good. So, Aviasaur is still a good drop here. I'm just in really, really bad shape. So play the Aviasaur, get 2 cheap hatchlings for next turn, and then pass. Really hope that they don't have extra gas here. Really hope they don't have removal. I'll absolutely block that card. Okay, well, it's a good thing that I blocked it, and that I have blockers for next turn for it. So I can play 2 2/1s. Okay, good. 2 2/1s, and a 2/2 on the ground. The 2/1s are going to double block the 5/3, and the 2/2 is going to block this 2/2. And then I'm taking 1, and then we really hope that we've staunched the bleeding, can draw another land, and get destabilized. If they have a combat trick, then we're probably toast. But they don't. I note that they did not attack with the 1/1. Were they afraid I was going to block it with the 2/2? I wasn't. I'm way too low health to pull that sort of shenanigan. Okay, really want to land now. Really want to land. Reliquary Raider is a very important drop for me here. I think I will be... Until I know that I can play a blocker for the 2/2, I'll be taking the 1. Once I know that I can play a blocker for the 2/2, yeah, okay, so now I get to start blocking like that. I think, though... Yeah, I think I for sure... Okay, so I don't attack because they can block with Slumbering Stone and turn it into something aggressive. I'm basically only attacking in the air this game, I think. I'll play Reliquary Raider and pass the turn. The 3/3 is going to block the 1/1 because it's time to stop taking damage. 4/4 blocks the 2/2 if necessary. That's extremely painful. That's very painful. Okay. Draw any removal, any card with flying. That's your job. You failed. You failed at your job, and now we're all going to die. I probably want to save Twinning Ritual for any flying card that comes up. I think it's Xenon Obelisk. I'll attack with this to try to draw a card. That seems right. Yeah, so they can get their 2/2. Yeah. I just need that shortened my clock by 1 turn. Well, I guess removal no longer gets me out of it here. Yeah. Well, I don't think we were winning this game. Twinning Ritual the Terrazon, play a Terrazon, and hope that they forget to attack. I could have attacked here and offered the trade because it has endurance, but whatever. Okay, well, we pulled ourselves out of a ridiculous 0-2 hole, and if we had lost any one of these games, our run would have been over. But we pulled some 5-win run magic, and had a pretty good draft, I think.